If you're looking for a quick vinyasa practice to help hit all the main muscle groups, all the main movements, and then get on with your day, then you are in the right place. Hello and welcome. My name is Danielle, and I'm here to help you get out of your mind, get into your body, and help find balance in your practice, both on and off the mat. And today we're going to do that through some vinyasa. So we'll start on the ground, build up some energy, build up some intensity, and then bring it back down. Blocks are always optional, but I like to have them available. Some days it's just nice to bring the earth a little closer. So grab them if you would like. Get some nice relaxing music playing, and we will get started in a seated position. All right, so we're here, we've made it, we've got our area all set up, and now it's time to get centered in. So taking a moment to truly just arrive on our mats. So starting to bring some awareness to our hips, to our knees. Are we supported so we can grow tall through the spine? Maybe the hands are resting on our knees to kind of support the chest more. Maybe you want to bring them towards heart center to really help focus that awareness, that intention. Maybe we soften the shoulders down the back, extend the crown of the head tall. And maybe we have a soft gaze in front of you, or maybe you close the eyes if it feels more comfortable. Take a few minutes at the beginning of every practice to truly just arrive on our mats. Right, starting to make that shift from our day-to-day life to our practice and letting the body, the mind know that our life is still there. It's always waiting for us. And so doing our best for these moments that we share together, breath by breath, to bring that awareness back to the four corners of our mats. Start to notice the inhales really growing taller, filling up the chest. Start to notice the exhales softening in, growing heavy. And just taking note of our mental states today. So what am I holding on to? Right? Where can I soften? Where can I let go? And then a few moments in stillness to truly just prepare for the movements to come. All right, so we'll seal that focus, that awareness in with one good intentional breath. So inhale fully. Exhale fully. And then we'll start to move. So gently blink your eyes open if they're closed. And on your next inhale, arms go up and over, fingertips touch, maybe a little back bend. Then on your exhale, right hand grounds down, left arm reaches up and over. Going into a little side bend here to start. So really grounding down to that left hip, reaching up, breathing into the left rib. Maybe a soft bend in the right elbow, maybe looking up at the ceiling if it feels okay on the neck. Really stretching through the fingers, growing heavy in the hips. Then on your next inhale, come back through center, fingertips touch, maybe a little back bend. And on the exhale, left hand grounds down, right arm up and over, breathing into the whole right side. So bringing some awareness to our core. We're still working, keeping us lifted, breathing into the rib, shoulders away from the ears. Can I bend a little deeper in my elbow? Maybe sink heavier in the hips as I reach. Then inhale, come back through center, fingertips touch. And exhale, let's fold over the hips, coming to our first little forward fold. So maybe we're staying up high, maybe resting on the elbows, maybe swaying a moment side to side to really get into the different areas, different facets of the hips. And coming back through center, switching out the cross of our legs, trying to find balance in everything we're doing, both on and off the mats. Then grounding back in. On your next inhale, reach up, fingertips touch. And on your exhale, twisting over to the right. So left hand onto right knee, right hand behind you, core working, growing tall, softening that right shoulder down, maybe looking over that right shoulder. And inhale, coming back through center. Exhale, twisting to the left. So really trying to find that rotation in the mid-spine. Can you ground that right hip back, right shoulder over. Soften the shoulders away from the ears, crown of the head shining tall. Then inhale, come back through center. And exhale, fold in once more. Maybe taking a moment to notice, how does it feel different this round? And where can I find more sensation, more space? Then inhale, coming back through center and making our way into a tabletop. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Toes can be tucked or untucked. I like to tuck them, just get a little toe stretch going on as well. Find a neutral pelvis, so navel to core, shoulders away from ears. And on your inhale, drop the belly, lead with the heart for cow. And on your exhale, press into the earth, round in for cats. And on your inhale, dropping deeper, pulling the chest through. And on your exhale, pressing away, rounding in. Starting to move with your breath for a few rounds. Really feeling the sensations along the spine, really noticing where the stretch is. Maybe lingering in one area or another if it's calling to you. And maybe closing the eyes to really help you tune in to those sensations and feeling them fully, feeling them deeply. All right, let's do one more round. Really noticing, going as deeply as we can, and then coming back to neutral. So starting to ground down through that left hand. On your inhale, right arm reaches up and north to south, stretching wide. Then on your exhale, take that hand, thread it behind the left, really reaching as far as you can go. And only then do we lower down onto that right shoulder, right forearm, right hand, pressing into the earth, trying to rotate our chest to the side wall. Left hand can stay grounded, really pressing as well, rotating deeper. Or maybe you want to take it to your hips. You can kind of feel out your hips. Are they even? Can I get them a little bit more square with the ceiling? Or maybe your right hip crease, if you have the space. Maybe growing heavier in the hips, really pressing into the arm. Can I twist a little deeper? All right, then on your next inhale, left hand plants back down underneath the shoulders. Right arm starts to reach up north to south, spreading the shoulders, the arms wide. Then exhale, right hand ground down. Maybe take a moment, do one cat-cow. Just kind of reset the spine a bit. Find your neutral. And then going into the other side. So grounding down through that right hand. On your inhale, left arm reaches up, really spreading through the fingertips. And on the exhale, taking that hand, threading it behind the right. Really pressing that full arm into the earth as we're rotating deeper. Same options with the hands on this side. Maybe the right arm stays underneath the shoulder. Maybe you're walking it forward to kind of square your shoulders down. Or maybe you're taking your hand to your hips to just notice how it feels on this side. But no matter the shape with the right hand, with the awareness, the intention is in the left. So we're really pressing into the earth to rotate deeper, trying to get into that mid-spine rotation and softening in here at the end. All right, on your next inhale, start to unwrap, unwind, stretching north to south. And exhale, right hand meets the left. Let's walk our hands forward a handprint or two. Tuck the toes, start to lift the hips, make your way into your first downward facing dog. So take a moment here to really feel it out, maybe pedaling into one foot and the other, just kind of walking the dog, feeling the calf, the ankle, feeling the toes. Maybe you want to bend into both knees, really press the chest back, finding a long line in the spine and settling the heels down. And we all kind of have little rituals when we get into our first downward dog of the practice. So finding whatever is calling to you and knowing that you probably look different than me, and that's okay. Then one moment of stillness as you arrive to really feel the shape, feel the strength, and soften. All right, bend the knees, look to the top, hop, step, or jump, really pressing into the hands the whole time. And exhale, fold it, finding your first standing forward fold. So maybe you want to wrap the arms around the legs, giving them a nice big bear hug, maybe massaging them a bit. Or maybe you want to grab onto opposite elbows, letting the upper body hang heavy. Right, rolling some weight into the balls of the feet. Maybe tucking the chin a bit, letting it sway front, back, side to side. And then breath by breath, how can I grow heavier in the upper body? Maybe lift the hips just a little bit more. All right, on your next inhale, start releasing any bind that you've taken. On your inhale, start to round it up, roll it up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Fingertips touch overhead, maybe a little back bend. And exhale, fold in deeper. Inhale, halfway lift, hands slide up the shins. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, top of the push-up. Knees can be raised or lowered, and exhale, lower all the way down, elbows hugging in. Inhale, untuck the toes, pull the heart through for little baby cobra. Exhale, lower down, retuck those toes. Push yourself back through child's pose to start, and then lift the hips for downward facing dog. So that is our gentlest vinyasa. We'll add on a little intensity round by round, but know that that is always available to you. Okay, bend the knees, look to the top, hop, step, or jump. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead, pressing the hips forward. And exhale, fold back in. Inhale, we lengthen, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. Inhale, shift forward, and exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Inhale, untuck the toes, pull the heart through for a little bigger cobra. Exhale, lower down and retuck those toes. Push yourself back through tabletop and lift the hips for downward facing dog. Pausing for a breath just to arrive, to reset. Then bend the knees, look to the top, hop, step, or jump. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round it up, roll it up, arms up overhead. And exhale, fold in. Inhale, lengthen, hands slide up the shins. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, pull the heart through for up dog. And exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Pausing to arrive, to reset. Maybe noticing how we're feeling after we've gone through those rounds. And noticing which version of those movements served me best. And knowing that all of them were merely options, never obligations. And part of the practice of vinyasa is finding the movement that works best for you in this moment. All right, from our down dog, reorienting ourselves, really grounding down through both feet. Then on your inhale, right leg lifts up, really driving the heel back, pressing the chest back. Then on your exhale, start to round in, drawing the knee in through center, maybe picking up that knee a bit, gently stepping it through. Dropping the back knee, untucking the toes. Then on your inhale, we rise, hands to thigh or sky. Reaching up to sink the hips lower. Soften the shoulders down. Soften the face, soften the jaw. Stay here. Or on your inhale, start to windmill the arms open to the left, taking that left foot and swinging it open. Kind of doing a funky modified warrior two. So maybe adjusting the feet, can we bend into that front knee, really trying to open the right hip, spreading the arms east to west, stretching the fingertips. Staying here, on your inhale, start to flip that right palm, reaching towards the front, and then starting to reverse, going into a deeper side stretch. So really reaching up and over, breathing into the right rib, maybe bending into that right knee a little bit more. Soften, maybe looking up at the ceiling. Then using that space on your next inhale, start to reach forward, reach towards the top of the mat until you can reach no further. And only then drop that hand to the inside of the knee, or maybe we rest on the forearm. Left arm reaches up. Maybe we're driving the energy straight, ceiling. Maybe we're driving the energy over, kind of reaching, getting into the left side. So finding whichever arm position feels most supportive for you. And if we're grounding down, we're not dumping the weight into that arm. We're really trying to press up in the right hand. All right, on your exhale, start to windmill that left hand down, planting it underneath the shoulder. Left foot pivots out. Now let's go to the other side of the mat. Start to dump that weight into the left arm. Right arm reaches up. And using that strong core, can you pick up that right leg and come into a modified side plank? So maybe you want to go into a full side plank, picking up the knee. Maybe we're staying grounded. Can we reach up, shoulders away from the ears, pressing into the knuckles, the fingertips, staying for one more breath. All right, then on your exhale, windmill that right hand down, pick up that right foot, left foot steps back to meet it, and flow your way, however you choose, to downward facing dog. All right, knowing that you can always skip the vinyasa entirely and go straight to it. And you might need something different round to round. Pausing for a breath when we arrive to reset, to refine our focus, our meditation. Then going into the other side. So grounding down through that right foot. On your inhale, left leg reaches up, really driving the heel back. Then on your exhale, point the toes, start to draw that knee in through center, nice and slow. Can be a hover, and then step it through. And drop the right knee down, untuck the toes. On your inhale, we rise, hands to thigh or sky. So driving the energy up with the arms, sinking heavier in the hips, shoulders away from the ears, softening the face, maybe looking up if it feels okay on the neck. All right, then as we're ready, starting to transition, opening into that kind of grounded warrior two. So right foot swings behind you, right arm windmills open, stretching our arms east to west, bringing some awareness to our hips, maybe bending, adjusting that foot a little farther out to really bend into that knee, feel the sensation. Spreading the arms, maybe looking at the top of our mat. Then staying here, or start to flip the palms, reach forward, find space, and then use that space to find length. So the right hand, it could be resting, maybe it's on your back if you really want to challenge your core, but you're reaching active through that left hand, maybe sinking a little bit more in the hips. Soften the shoulders, maybe looking up. Now holding on to that space, we start to topple forward, reaching towards the top of the mat as far as we can before we drop that left arm down, right arm up. And again, maybe we're resting on our thigh, maybe the hands are on the inside of the foot, and maybe we want to block, kind of meeting in the middle. You can play on the height. Sometimes the highest or the middle setting is the most supportive. So find what works to you today, really reaching that right arm up, shoulders away from the ears, maybe gazing up. All right, then on your exhale, start to windmill that right hand down underneath the shoulder. Right foot starts to swing to the opposite side of the mat, maybe moving that block out of the way. Left arm reaches up, left foot steps back, finding our side plank. We're active through the hands, reaching up, pressing into the palm, knuckle fingers, really spreading the weight in the full right hand. Maybe we want to pick up that right knee. Maybe we don't. What works for you? And staying strong and steady for one more breath. All right, then windmill that left hand down, left heel picks up, right foot meets it. Flow your way to downward facing dog. Really trying to come back to that movement whenever we find that flow that becomes that muscle memory, that reset, that grounding movement in time. So the more you can bring full awareness to that movement to down dog, the better the benefit you will find. All right, from our down dog, doing another round, we can stick with those same movements we just did, or maybe we're ready to add it up a little bit. So from down dog, grounding through that left foot. On your inhale, right leg reaches up, really driving the heel back. Then on your exhale, point the toes, draw the knee in through center, really pressing the earth away, and stepping that right foot through. Keeping that back knee lifted, this set, right hip sliding back, left hip forward. On your inhale, we rise, finding our crescent high lunge. So really driving the energy up, gives us space to sink a little deeper. Maybe a soft bend in that back knee gives you more space to tilt the pelvis down, getting that neutral alignment. Arms are reaching up, shoulders down. Stay here for one breath. Then on your inhale, start to windmill open, finding our warrior two. So I always have to adjust my feet when I get into it, no matter how many times I do that. I just always need more space in my hips to bend deeper. Shoulders, trying to keep them over our hips, growing tall. Spreading the arms wide. Can we soften, gaze at the tip of the fingers? Then start to flip the palms, reach forward, and then reverse, holding on to that length to go up and over into our humble or reverse warrior. So reaching back, maybe the hand is resting on the legs, maybe it's behind you. But can we find some strength in what is lifted? Then using that strength, start to topple forward, reaching as far as we can. Then dropping that hand to the inside or the knee, or maybe we use that block. So right arm grounds down, left arm reaches up, really reaching through the fingertips, getting the full arm working. Can we soften the shoulder away from the ears? All right, start to windmill the left hand down, grounding down underneath the shoulders. Start to pick up that back heel, pivot to the other side of the foot. Maybe we keep the block, maybe not. We start to peel the right arm up and using that strong core, Can we step the right foot back to meet it? So really reaching up, not sinking the weight into that arm. Can we really lift the hips a bit? And if we need to ground our knee down, that's okay too. How can I find some space and support to be stable in this expression? All right, then on your exhale, start to windmill the hands down, pick up that right heel, left foot meets it, flow your way to downward dog. Connecting with that movement, connecting with that breath, and really preparing yourself for a fresh start on the other side. All right, so from our down dog, grounding down through that right foot on your inhale, left leg reaches up, really driving the heel back. Then point the toes, start to round in nice and slow. Can we bring that knee in as high as we can? And then stepping it through. Back knee can stay lifted or grounding it down, either option on your inhale. We rise to our crescent lunge. So left hip angle back, left, right hip forward, really driving the energy up to sink a little lower, softening the shoulders down, softening the face. All right, then on your next inhale, start to windmill open, finding our warrior two. So looking for heel to arch alignment, really bending into that knee, sinking the shoulders back, shoulders over the hips, spreading the arms wide. Soften, grow tall, gaze at the top. Start to flip the palms, reach forward, use that space to reverse. Reaching back, not dumping the weight into that right arm. So maybe it's behind you. Maybe we're looking up at the ceiling to reach a little further, sink a little deeper. Then holding on to that length, start to reach forward, extend that hand as close as we can to the top of the mat. Then dropping down for our side angle. Maybe the hand is on the floor, maybe it's on our thigh. Checking in with ourselves, am I pushing too hard? Do I need to dial it down just a little bit to give me more space, more strength? Maybe we're looking up at the ceiling. All right, then on your exhale, start to windmill that right hand down underneath the shoulder. Pick up that back heel, flipping over to the other side. Left arm reaches up, using that strong core. Can left foot step back, finding our side plank. So active through the fingers, really lifting, pressing the earth away. Using that core, maybe looking up, that really challenges my balance. And again, maybe we're dropping that knee down. Staying for one more breath. Then windmill the hand down, pick up that left foot, right foot meets it, flow your way one more time to downward facing dog. Going from that activation, that intensity to that softness, training our nervous system to intentionally calm down, reconnect with that calm, steady breath. Bend the knees, look to the top. Now imagining a squat on the outside of our hands. You can hop, step, or jump to our malasana squat at the top of the mat. So heels in, toes on the outside of the mat. Hands can be at heart center, or maybe they're grounded down. Maybe you want the hands on a block. That gives you more space. Start to sink the hips down as low as you can. Maybe the hips stay above the knee. That gives you more space. Maybe you can drop them down below the knee. Right, but listening to our knees, right? We're not trying to hurt ourselves. So how can we find some space and some softness? If we are going down, can we get that elbow to knee connection, really press the knees away? And maybe the hands are at heart center, that we really utilize that pressure, pressing the palms down, getting a little palm stretch as we're pressing the knees out. And maybe it's feeling a little intense and you want to take a block. You can do it on the highest setting or maybe the middle setting and just grounding it underneath the hips. Some days gives me a little bit more space to really feel the stretch without feeling the heat. And when you're working on hip opening, some days that can be really great to do. So even if you don't need the block, some days just having the permission to use the block can really find new depth in this shape. So as we sit here, how can we soften the shoulders down, grow longer through the spine? Maybe you want to find stillness. Maybe you want to sway a little bit side to side. Just kind of get deeper into the hips. And how can we find a little bit more softness? Say for 3 more breaths. Really trying to get the full benefit of this deep hip opening shape. All right, then removing any block. If we're using them, imagining a boat pose. seated on the ground. Our hands are going to reach forward, hips start to sink back, and challenging ourselves, seeing if we can get to boat without using the hands for support. Can we drop the hips down and bring the legs up? Finding our boat shape. So maybe the feet are grounded, maybe hands behind the thighs, giving you a little bit more support, really growing tall through the spine. Maybe you can pick up the feet, right? But if we are leaning back, we don't want the spine to be rounding. So how can I find length in the spine? And if your feet need to be grounded to find that length, that's okay. I'm going to do that today just to make what we're in this together. So feet grounded, growing tall, nice long spine. We just lean back as much as you can to really feel that core turn on. And then staying here, maybe the arms are reaching forward, really strong arms, keeping you active, lifting through the chest. Or maybe they're still resting. Maybe you want to challenge yourself, just pick up one leg, straightening it and then lowering it back down. Other side, can I straighten and lower? Straighten and lower. Straighten and lower. Maybe you want to challenge yourself, picking up both legs, straighten one leg, straighten the other. And stay here for just 3 more rounds of whatever expression feels good for you. And maybe finding stillness, challenging your stability, that is the right move. All right, finishing it out, whatever movements we're taking. I'm starting to wobble, arms reaching forward. Can we use that strong core to start to lower down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we have made it to the floor. If you're ready for your Savasana, you're ready to check out, you're welcome to it. If you want one last little wind down to really get you grounded, you can bring your knees in towards your chest. Maybe you want to wrap your arms around them, give them a nice bear hug. Maybe roll a bit side to side. Maybe take the knees, hands to the knees, and kind of bring the knees out. I'm doing some circles in the hip joint. Some days that can feel really good. And just noticing what sensations are coming up. Maybe noticing the low back. Do you have a flat back on the ground? And how can you get rid of that little dip in the low spine? And then staying with these circles or finding your way to a happy baby pose. So really bringing the knees in towards your shoulders. Hands come to the outsides of the feet. And then bringing the knees. One day they'll be at 90 degrees in the knees, but maybe a little bit less. And really use those strong arms to pull the knees in. Really flexing the feet, keeping the legs active. Maybe we stay here, kind of shimmy the shoulders under. Or maybe you want to roll a bit side to side here as well. Some days that feels really good. Maybe you want to straighten one leg and then straighten the other. What can I learn? What can I notice in this shape for just a few breaths until we find our resting position? All right, then starting to ground the feet back down, finding whatever last movements are calling to you. So if you want to do a waterfall for a few breaths too, some days that really helps me ground in and feel complete. And then making your way to that Savasana shape when you're ready. So traditionally, feet are straight, legs out straight, heels in, toes out. But most days I like to ground my feet, bring my knees in towards center to really support each other. Gives me a little bit more low back support. It just feels better most days. Maybe you want your one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart to really feel the rise and fall of the breath. Or maybe hands are by your sides, palms up to receive. And I will leave you here in a few moments at the end to just be, just absorb all of the work that you have done. Giving yourself some space, some kindness, some warmth. You have done it. We've made it through. All right, so Savasana is calling to you. You're welcome to stay. Otherwise, you can start to bring some gentle movements into the fingers and toes, just gently waking up the body. But maybe keeping the eyes closed as long as it's comfortable to really keep that awareness, that sensation inwards. And then adding in some bigger circles, some wrist circles, some ankle circles. Just trying to notice, bring that awareness, that intensity up a bit. And then bringing the arms up overhead in a nice big good morning stretch, hugging muscle to bone. Then rolling over to your favorite side, pausing for a moment, let that spine come into neutral. And then gently making your way up to a comfortable seat, pausing to arrive, to integrate, to make our way back into our daily life. So we started this practice in a seat. We're ending this practice in a seat. So maybe we just take a moment to notice how is our internal state here at the end, how this practice, these movements have served us. Maybe the hands are resting on our knees. Maybe they're at heart center to just bring that awareness, that intention inward one last time. So for everything that you have done today on the mat, all of the work you have put in for yourself, we all benefit as well. I truly believe that. So thank you so much for caring for yourself, because by doing so, you care for me too. And until we meet on our mats again, I bow to you and say, Om Shanti, peace, peace within, peace around, and peace to those who need it most. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you feel a little bit better, a little bit more balanced, and I can't wait to see you back on your mat here soon.